Hello everybody, huge update today. I was able to profit almost $4,000 today, and it was because of the Canadian dollar interest rate change. It was a huge surprise. Nobody was really expecting it. And I'm going to get into what happened, why, and also why I decided to hold on to my trades during all of this chaos that happened this morning. So let's get into that now. So you can see here, this is my Trader's Way account, and you can see the profit. So this showed last time I did my update, so just yesterday, it showed $10,100, and then all of my trades that were still in. So now it's showing a $2,500 profit, just about. And you can see what happened on the chart here. So you can see that all my trades were closed out here in the huge gap from the time of the news entry, and then a 300 pip dive from the top to the bottom. It was almost 340 pips. And so there was a huge problem with slippage that was going on with my brokers. My brokers were freezing, the price was being strange, and I was trying to close out my positions before this had a pullback that happened. And this all was happening in about a span of 5 to 10 seconds. That I was trying to close out all my positions on all my accounts, and I was able to profit about $4,000. So let me show you. I'll get into what happened and why I held on to my trades during the news in just a second. But I'm going to give you a profit report on all my trades today, or all of my accounts. So this is the LMFX account. So this account did very well with the 130% profit overall, almost 21% today with $118. It's just a really small account. This account is trading at double the size or double the risk of my other Wanda accounts. So this week and this month, you can see here, it's been a really fantastic month. Just because a good reason was because of this huge anomaly that happened today, I guess. So this is Robert, my buddy Robert. You can see he's now at 26% with a huge gain. It looks very odd with how the market has moved. It's been really steady gains and then this huge jump. And that was because he caught that same slippage, positive slippage that I did. And he was able to come out with $7,726 in profit with a 6% gain today. So a huge month for him at 7%, just about at $9,000. So he is extremely happy. And my buddy Jared, he's also doing very well, 14%. His profit today was about $1,200 at 6% as well, and this month around 7%, really close to Robert as well. So crazy numbers today, guys. It's been pretty nuts. So let me show you and talk a little bit more about what's happening right now. So we had the push down that happened, and the push down, I'm expecting a little bit of a pullback here, and then probably a continuation considering the interest rate change and what happened there. But I do expect some kind of recovery a bit, considering how big this move is. All right, so let me talk you through my thought process of what happened before the news in pretty much the last 24 hours. So you guys can see all my positions, and let me actually show you on this chart here, since it's a little bit easier to see. You can see that everything was the price or the EMA was above 70 there. So you can see that obviously this is overbought, and I didn't like my position, my original position here. Right here at the short position. I even said this in my last video that this position was not a great trade, and I was expecting for it to sorry, it wasn't this one, it was right here. I was expecting it to go into multiple orders at that point. The reason why I was expecting that is because from the bottom of the move to this order, or to the top, it was only about 65 pips, which is a lot lower than I typically take positions. This one was also the similar kind of behavior where it moved from the bottom to the top. It was a few more pips than that, about 70, and I was able to get lucky and close out that trade at about 50 pips. This one came in again, so if you look back, you'll see that it was that my expert advisor, or my strategy, was actually taking trades with the trend. So it's actually capable of taking positions with the trend if the pullbacks aren't too huge. And you can see this one here that was taken in the last 24 hours. But what happened here? it was so it started creeping up, and I expected this to happen just because of where my first entry was, and I also expected that the pound Canadian dollar was going to go up on a push up or a larger pullback, as you see here that happened. And so when we got this inside candle, I was thinking, okay, so this is a pretty good area around the 61.5 level for a recovery. And this was the pullback that I was expecting to happen, and it finally did. And so I was thinking that at that point, there's a good chance for it to, I guess, continue its downward movement. So what happened? Okay, the market started acting very weird in here, very strange in this bracket of price action. And I was even telling Robert and Jared, the guys I'm advising for, that there has been some really strange market behavior in here. I was really shocked what was happening and a little bit confused. And so I started looking at the news and saying, okay, well, the Canadian dollar news is coming out. I guess interest rate change was coming out. I don't know why I forgot the name of it for a second. And so I was thinking, okay, so that's makes no sense because the interest rate is expected to stay the same at I think it was 0.75%. But there was a lot of hints to the Canadian dollar still being strengthened, even though the interest rate was going to stay the same, because of the monetary statement that there was a lot of potential there for talk of increased strength with the Canadian dollar. So basically, what I'm saying here, guys, is that even if they continue to keep that same interest rate, I still felt protected with my position. But I was very confused about why this was moving on the upside. It didn't make a ton of sense with the potential for positive Canadian dollar news coming out no matter what. Like if they kept the interest rate the same as it was, or even a surprise increase. A surprise increase was also on the table, but very unlikely. And so I saw this creeping up, and was very confused by why that was happening. Then I started talking about it and started thinking about it. I was like, well, I've seen this happen before where there's a pump and dump type of market behavior where before a huge news statement comes out, if the market is going against you or going in the opposite direction that you think it is, or the news is potentially showing or hinting at, then a pump and dump type of market behavior is a potential scenario. And you can see that's what was happening here. So what hinted me at that was this reversal candle. Okay, there wasn't much of a pullback here. All right, so what happened next was another inside candle, and almost another inside candle there. And so this really weird ignoring of price action at this point, which led me to start questioning what was happening here. And there was another inside candle set up here, and then the whole number at 162. I was thinking, okay, so it capped out at 162, and I was thinking that would be a really good place for the market to hit and then to bounce down in a big way. So I looked at the news and was watching it 5 minutes before everything came out really closely to see how price was reacting, and it was still pushing up, even up to the last few seconds before the Canadian dollar news came out on the interest rate. So that's why I held onto my positions, is because I felt that I was as secure as I could be in any kind of reaction to that news, where they kept the interest rate the same. I was likely to have some positive movement in my direction on the downside because of the potential for the monetary normalizing, monetary policy normalizing in Canada. So I felt like there was a really good potential for me to for this event to go in my favor. no matter what. And so that's why I held on to my positions. Now, if I felt like the interest rate was very likely to like decrease or something like that, where there was a lot of talk about the Canadian dollar is losing value, that's so they're going to have to cut rates, and that's a kind of scenario that I would potentially close out all these positions that you see here early. Just to protect my account from a huge run up, if that was the case. I didn't expect this, though. I did not expect for such a huge price movement like this in a matter of seconds. And that's why I was able to come out with such a large profit, was because of the positive slippage that happened here. So I didn't know that this was going to happen, but I had a good hunch and a lot of hints, and I did a good amount of research seeing that this would potentially go in my favor. So why didn't I, if I knew this was going to go in my favor, why didn't I, maybe capitalize on it more? I can see a lot of you guys thinking like, oh, well, if you made $4,000, I guess you could have made a lot more. I considered that, actually. When I kept doing more and more research, I kept thinking that this could be a really good opportunity to enter up at the top here. A huge trade and have it go in my favor. And since I have that leverage now at Trader's Way, so you can see here at Trader's Way, since I have the leverage of 1,000 to 1, I got so close to entering, so close. I mean, I would have the number here, you can even see it, that I had it set at 10 lots. I was just about to enter a massive trade of 10 lots right at the peak, and looking to close it at about 20 pips, so that would be right in that area or so. I think it might have been just a little bit higher. Yeah, it would have been close to that area, about 20 pips loss. It would have been about $2,000 loss on my account, which would be about 20%. And was considering taking that risk just in case something like this happened. And I decided that it wasn't worth it. I have $36,000, now 38, at Maverick. And I have a $12,000 account at Trader's Way. I'm trading for other friends, and so it's just not at a point in my trading to take a risk like that. Yes, this trade would have ended up being a $30,000 profit if I went in at 10 lots. I believe that's correct. With a 300 pip move, that would have been about 30K profit. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. I still made $4,000, which I'm totally happy with. And I just didn't want to put that stress or pressure on myself of losing 20% of my account. Not at this stage in my career. It just didn't make a lot of sense, me being this close to really making a full-time income with trading. And now I'm even closer because I've just made a $4,000 increase on my personal on my personal accounts. So now I've exceeded $200,000 in funds that I trade and manage. Now in total, I think I'm looking at about $205,000 now that I'm trading amongst all the accounts. So let me show you the Maverick account. And you can see that's $38,000 now. And this was reading 36.5 about the other day. And so this account actually took about a $1,500 profit. So looking really good. All right, so that's how I played this out today. Maybe I won't be as lucky the next time around, but you got to do your research, not just on the price action, because as far as I could understand, I just knew that something weird was going on price action in this area of the market, that something strange, something was weird that was going on. And what was happening was the big banks were pushing up the price, and the institutions were pushing up price just so they could dump it and make a huge, massive profit on this move. And so you just got to read your fundamental analysis. You got to do the research there to help guide you in these kind of scenarios. Yes, it worked out in my favor this time. I might not be as lucky the next time around, but I'm not going to over risk my accounts by taking dumb trades like I was tempted to do just, an hour ago. And so as long as I stay like that, if I stay collected, calm, and not taking too much risk on my accounts, I will sometimes have events that give me massive positive slippage. Sometimes I may be negative slippage as well, but I'm going to try to in the future, make sure that all my accounts have a percentage cutoff, so I'm not, so I'm more protected, or as protected as I can be in a situation like this, just in case I have a similar situation on the negative side. So yes, there's always that risk of something that can happen, but you can prevent that by taking precautionary action, and that's what I did today, and it worked out in my favor. All right, so guys, I recommend that you guys just don't only trade what you see on the chart, but also look at the news, the fundamental and the political climate, to make sure that you know what you're doing. The good places to do that are Forex Factory. So make sure you go to Forex Factory. You can see what statements are coming out. If you look at the top stories here, you can check out a lot of the things that are coming out soon. You can also check out another place I like to read news is at FX Street. A lot of times they have pretty good articles, and this website is actually one of the websites that gave me the hints on why I should hold on to my my pound Canadian dollar short positions, and why would be there's a good potential for the Canadian dollar to increase in strength. So news websites can help with that a lot, and I try to recommend you guys to check those out. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for the update today. I wanted to make it short and sweet. I'm going on vacation here tomorrow. Actually, I'm going on a business trip until the 10th, from the 7th to the 10th. So you probably won't hear a lot from me. And then I go on vacation right after that on the 13th, and I won't be back until the 19th. So I'm going to be gone for a good portion of the month. I pretty much exceeded the profit for this month just in today's trading. So I may cut back on some of my accounts, probably MaverickFX, because that account needs to be restarted every day. And since I'm going to be in Iceland, it might be hard to have access to internet after that out there. All right, so I'm happy. Maybe you guys can't tell, but yes, this is a great day. I'm very excited how things turned out, but I'm still trying to stay calm and collected because it's necessary for trading to not get too emotional. That is, if you're nervous, or if you're worried, or if you're too excited, because you can also make mistakes by being too excited. So yeah, this will probably be the last update that I give you guys in the next couple of days. I may do one at the end of the week if I've got time, but we'll see. Thanks again for the support and watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.